Hey y'all, it's Hans. Welcome back. We have a big review of a small scope. This is the brand new Rix Storm S6R. We've got a lot to talk about. Who it's good for, probably the main thing, if this scope is right for you or not. Showing a lot of video, talking about the specs, running all of that down, everything I like about it. One thing maybe I think is a little odd, but other than that, a good scope. And I might be ruining the review by giving you my thoughts up front, but this is a good scope, but that doesn't mean it's for you, just like anything else. Although this scope might be right for one person, it might be the complete wrong choice for somebody else. So it's important when you're trying to find an optic. Yes, these thermal reviews are very good. They're a good resource, but it is the very beginning of the search. I wouldn't expect anybody to watch this review and immediately go over to outdoorlegacy.com and order. I would love that. But most people call us, and that's what we're here for. So you can actually watch the review and you can watch other reviews and be like, okay, this is in the wheelhouse of what I think I might need. But really, to make for sure that this is the right scope, give us a call, 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacy.com. This is my full-time job, not just reviews. I get to hunt with these optics, of course. We also have a podcast called The Late Night Vision Show. Jason Robertson, the owner of Outdoor Legacy, and I do that show every Thursday. So you can find it on YouTube, The Late Night Vision Show. But testing these optics, putting all this free information out on YouTube to help you make a decision, but also, we'd like for you to give us a call. We can help finalize that decision. We're not going to tell you got to buy this one, but we're going to narrow it down to 2 or 3 best options that are going to fit within your budget, in your application, and all of that. So back to the Rix Storm S6. Excited to bring this review. I'm going to get into the specs. We're going to show some video while I do that. First of all, if you want to see some hunting clips with the Storm S6R, on my YouTube, you can go to the shorts section. So you have the video section and the shorts. That's where I put all my hunting clips. Been hunting with this, put a bunch of clips up there that you can go check it out. But if you just want to hang out for the review, watch this first and then go check out the hunting clips. That'd be great. Specs incoming right now. Okay, the Rix Storm S6R, the price on it is $2,999. It is a 640 by 512 thermal sensor resolution, 12 micron, 50 hertz refresh rate. It does have a sub 20 millikelvin. It's an NETD thermal sensor, and that the lower the number, the better. There's a lot of people that really pay a big attention to that spec specifically, but that really is talking about the sensor sensitivity. The display, it's a 1024 by 768 resolution display, not to be confused with thermal sensor resolution. Starts out on 2 power and goes up to 8 power digitally. So it's digital magnification, and it's not an incremental magnification. It goes from 2 power to 4 power to 8 power. So it doubles in its jumps. It's got a field of view of 66 feet at 100 yards. It does have, and one of the features new to this Storm 6, because it is not a new scope, although this one is, the new feature about it is the laser rangefinder with the bullet calculation compensation ability built into the scope. The detection range, Rick says, is about 1,800 yards. More importantly, the ID range, I would say on a coyote or hog-sized animal, is going to be about 400 to 500 yards. That's where you can look out at 400 or 500 yards and know for sure without a shadow of a doubt that you're looking at a coyote or a hog or a deer. Now, bigger animals might be a little bit further. Smaller animals, it might be a little bit closer if you're talking about anything smaller than a coyote. It runs on a flat top 18650 rechargeable battery, and it comes with 2 batteries along with a battery charger with the purchase of the scope inside the box. With this, on our battery runtime test that we did for the Late Night Vision Show podcast, we got about 5.5 hours of runtime. That's on a single fully charged battery. It runs off one of these batteries, and they are interchangeable. It has a recoil rating of 300 Win Mag. It does include video and audio recording. It has Wi-Fi to the Rix app, so you can stream the videos on your tablet or on your iPhone or your Android phone, or you could watch live feed from the scope right to your tablet or cell phone. One Shot Zero, it does have the color palettes: white hot, black hot, red hot, color, red monochrome, and green monochrome. It does come with the Rix QD mount. It's a Rix branded quick release mount, return to zero. Weighs exactly 1 pound, and it does come with the 5-year Rix warranty. Again, $2,999 the price on the scope. Let's take a quick look at it, y'all. Very small. When I talked about a big review of a small scope, I mean, not much bigger than my hand, especially if you take the rubber eye cup off. Very small. You could actually use this very well as a scanner or a monocular, and we'll talk about who it's good for, because that is part of what makes this scope so attractive. You almost got a 2-in-1 situation. You've got the button layout on top, which is a very generously spaced, generously raised. That's really hard to say. Generously spaced, generously raised button. Makes it easy to find in the dark. Really didn't have that much of a problem at all. Finding these buttons, very easy to operate. It's got the LRF module on the side right here. Spring-loaded lens cap, plastic lens cap, very hard plastic, protective cover over that objective lens. Eyepiece diopter focus here close to the eyepiece, obviously. And then your objective lens focus right here on this side. And you have your Rix branded QD mount. We talked about it on a late night vision show. We talked about how the lever was on the wrong side and backwards. So it's not that it doesn't work. It's just what we're used to seeing. A lot of times the throw lever is on the opposite side, and the throw lever typically is pointed back towards the shooter. And this one's pointed front towards like the muzzle. So it does look a little bit, to us, it looks awkward, but it works just fine. No problems with it at all. It weighs a pound. Again, very, very small, very compact, very concealable if you wanted to use it as a monocular. But the qualities of this optic, the image is very, very good. Now, we're not going to just stumble over the fact that the main positive of this scope has to be the price. I mean, it is one of the, probably of what I know of all the brands that Outdoor Legacy carries, it has to be the least expensive 640 resolution thermal scope with a permanently attached laser rangefinder that I know of. At $29.99, the price is very, very good. I mean, compared to everything else, I mean, that scope right there is in the pricing category of a 384 resolution scope. And there are some 384 resolution scopes that are even priced higher than this. Now, again, that doesn't mean it's the right scope for you, but incredible price, very good picture image, very easy to use. I remember sighting this in, and it's been, the Storm 6s have been out for a while. Now, that is the scope before this one. We chose it on a late night vision show as the best thermal scope under $3,000. That was at the end of 2024. So that's how long ago it's been since I've used the Storm 6 when we were testing it then. I got this one out of the box, had it zeroed in a few minutes, and I remember calling somebody in our office and being like, I forgot how easy it is to zero these scopes. Very easy to operate. The menu is easy to figure out, easy to sight in. I would say just a very, very basic scope that has a lot of extra features. So a lot of people call and say, I don't care about all the bells and whistles. I just want to take it on or take it out, turn it on, put it on a rifle and shoot. Well, they just don't make scopes like that anymore. They don't make scopes without video and audio or Wi-Fi. I mean, everything's going to come with all of these features. But because it comes with these features doesn't mean that you have to use them. It doesn't mean that the scope's overly complicated because of it. This is a very basic scope, very easy to use, that does a lot of things, and that's okay. You don't have to use recording feature. You don't have to use the laser rangefinder. I hope that you would if you bought the scope with the laser rangefinder attached, but it's there. You don't have to use it unless you want to. So I would say, the price has to be the biggest advantage for this scope, followed closely by the picture image is very good, followed after that by how simple the scope is to use. It is, when we talked about who it's good for, and again, I keep teasing that, but I'm going to get right to it. The fact that it is very small and compact will give you something that you could, not everybody with thermal is hunting with them 100% of the time. A lot of people just want something to scan with if they're if they're a rancher and they're trying to watch their cattle and they want to have this by the door where they can scan and see if there's any coyotes out there chasing cows, well, they can have this by the window, scan with it, see something, throw it on a rifle real quick and go out and bolt out the door. So that's a big deal, especially with people that really don't want to buy two optics. They want to buy one optic that does a couple different things. And that's what makes this option so popular. The only two negatives that we really came up with, and they're not negatives at all, I've already talked about one of them, the fact that the mount to us seemed like it was on backwards, which it's not. You could put these things on anyway. To us, it just because it's different than what we're used to seeing. The other one was something kind of funny. Doesn't ruin the function of the scope, but if you're OCD, which I am not OCD, but that's why I think that this is funny, but some people might not think it's funny. It might disturb them. You have the laser rangefinder module on the side. Rix is correctly facing that direction, but when you open it with the logo facing the right way, when you open it, it blocks the laser rangefinder. So the only way to make this work is you've got to flip, and it's easy to do. You just turn the lens cap around to the other side. But, and I said, if you got a problem, if you're OCD, the Rix logo's upside down. So it opens, it works just fine. Laser rangefinder works just fine. The logo's upside down. And so it's, a lot of people, it might bother people that are OCD. That might throw a spoke in your tire wheels or something, or might give you a bad day. But again, doesn't really affect the scope at all. Now, who it is good for? I finally teased it. I'm finally going to get to it. This is a 2-power base magnification scope. I'm first of all say this style of scope, the compact thermal scopes are really meant for AR style rifles. That's who we recommend these to when people call. We ask, what kind of rifle are you going to use? If they say, I'm only going to use an AR style rifle, then I feel very comfortable recommending a compact style scope. If they say I use an AR and a bolt, I will typically recommend a tube style scope like a Rix Leap. So I'm going to say you can put this on a bolt action rifle, but it's not really made for that. And sometimes it's not as comfortable behind the optic like it would be like with a traditional tube style scope. If you try to use this, so the eye relief may not be as comfortable. You might have to crank your head a little bit more to the side and forward. It's just, you won't know unless you get it and you put it on your rifle to know if it's really going to fit on a bolt action. With an AR, there's no question. It'll fit just fine and work very, very well. So I would first of all say an AR style rifle, shooter, hunter. Also somebody that is typically doing their hunting or scanning, typically in smaller to medium-sized fields and in woods. So if your average shooting distance is going to be, I would say 150 yards and in, then this 2-power base magnification scope is something that I would say would be right for you based on the yardage of your average shot. Now you can absolutely take a 300-yard shot with this, but I would not want my average to be that high or even near 200. 150 yards and in, if you're hunting in the woods or in small to medium-sized fields, perfect. It'll work very, very well for you. If you are looking for something, like we talked about, to use in a dual capacity as a scanner and as a rifle scope, as long as your average shooting distance is going to be under 150 yards, this works very well as a scanner. Obviously, because of size, small and compact, we've already talked about. Concealable, you can stick it in a pocket very quick. But it's a 2-power. So 2-power is ideal for a scanner. Wide field of view, covers more ground when you're scanning side to side. Less blind spots, very comfortable behind the optic when you're scanning with it. So works very well as a scanner and as a scope. And that's really why these things are so popular. The Storm 6s, which came out, again, they came out a year ago. Very, very popular optics. Those are actually a great price right now at $23.99. So you have that option. And if you want it with the laser rangefinder, it's $29.99. A lot of people want the laser rangefinder. That's another show. That's another question. And that is, do you need a laser rangefinder? We've talked about it at length on the Late Night Vision show. You can go to YouTube and search, and put in late night vision show, LRF, and our conversations will come up. Do you need a laser rangefinder? I have some pretty hot takes on that. So, if you are interested in a scope, or if you're interested in this scope and you think you might want to buy from Outdoor Legacy, call me up and say, Hans, do I need the one with or without the laser rangefinder? And I'll be brutally honest, because I'm the last person to say that everybody needs a laser rangefinder. But if you do, or if you think you do, this is a great one. Great price at $29.99. Great picture image, easy to use, very small and compact. You can use as a dual purpose optic, scanner and scope. I'm not telling you these things are going to be popular. These things already are popular and selling like crazy at outdoorlegacygear.com. Don't just take my word for it though. Call me. Let's have a conversation about it. Would love to talk to you about this scope. Maybe as great as this scope is, maybe you're a coyote hunter and your average shot's 200 yards and you're shooting on a bolt action rifle. This is not the scope that I would recommend to you. We'd be talking about maybe one of the Rix Leap tube style scopes or something like that. But the only way to know for sure that you're deciding on the right optic is to call us. And we would love your business at Outdoor Legacy. And you can find all of our stuff, outdoorlegacy.com, 877-350-1818. And if you aren't watching the Late Night Vision Show podcast, you got to find it. I've been doing it for 8 years now, every Thursday, like clockwork, 4 a.m. every Thursday morning, a new show is posted. So very soon, I think we are going to be, we're recording the review this week of the brand new Rix Leap L6R. So Rix they're doing a lot right now. It's getting towards the end of the year. They've had several new releases, new optics, a lot of rangefinder stuff. So it's good to see, and we will be reviewing the Leap 6R right here on the HansETX YouTube channel. We'll see y'all soon. Y'all take care.